Okay, hopefully you're still on the same thing. So I'm going to start again. Hi, good afternoon. How the devil are you? So today I'm discussing the last chapter of The Emperor's New Clothes. I don't know if you have read the book, but there's a last chapter that often doesn't get published, and that is the little boy getting his head kicked in, being called a white supremacist and Nazi, and being arrested and thrown in jail while everybody else celebrates and still talks about the joy that is the Emperor's New Clothes. And I want to just draw you in. I want to just remind every single one of you. When I started talking about this issue, and I'm definitely not the first, right? I'm not the first to talk about this issue. I'm not the first to talk about this issue at all. There were women way before me, like decades before me, talking about this issue. But we'd got into a climate of silence, right? And so when I started publicly talking about this issue, let's not forget, I was interviewed under caution. I'm the first woman in the United Kingdom, first person to be interviewed under caution, as far as I know, for actually saying, using the wrong pronouns, calling a man a woman, saying it's wrong to castrate children, talking about the abuse of children. So I want to just remind you, I started talking about this when it wasn't comfortable, when many of you that have now peaked were still at the kind of you mustn't say that, you shouldn't say that, where calling a man was a difficult thing to do. Saying it on television was like groundbreaking. And I really don't forget the women that came before me, like Julia Long, Sheila Jeffries, Jermaine Greer. All these like absolute giants came before me. But when I said it on television, on mainstream TV, I'm telling you, it shouldn't have been said. According to everybody, it shouldn't have been said. It was the wrong thing to say. It was worse to say there was a cock in a woman's space, a man with his cock out, than it was for the man to actually have his cock out. So I just want to remind you, I am comfortable with you all being uncomfortable. I'm comfortable with everybody around me being uncomfortable, because I am very, very cross, angry about what we have to put up with. It's awful that there are men in women's spaces. It's awful that there is a man right now punching a woman in the face for sport. But what makes me over the edge angry is that we are not allowed to talk about it. That is the thing that really pushes me to talk about it, because I can't quite fathom that it's worse to talk about it than it is to actually have it done. And that's what happened to me over the weekend. It's worse to talk about certain things, even the rape of children, than actually the rape of children. And that's not going to make me shut up. I can't help but speak the truth, especially when the truth is not allowed to be spoken. That is when I'm going to be talking about it the most. Like, look, we can all talk about things that have happened. We can all say that it's fine in public dialogue. It's fine to say certain things are bad because we've had a consensus. Everyone's allowed to say some things. Those are not necessarily the things I want to talk about, because that doesn't make me as mad as the silencing. Like, when I think about the boots on our necks, right? The boots on our throats. I think that's to stop us speaking about it. That's not just the injustice of whatever it is that's happening. It's the not being able to talk about it that totally compounds it, that makes it so much worse. So I cannot be silent on the things that I see. And if that makes you uncomfortable and you need to go away for a little bit and you need to catch up, and you'll come back in 4 weeks, 6 months, 2 years with you were absolutely right, because that's what's happened so far in this, right? I was talking about this a long time ago. Again, I should just say, I just want to say, I'm not the first. I might not even be the best, but I'm definitely not the first. And so that's fine. But I was speaking about it when many people find it uncomfortable. I am determined that I absolutely have a part to play in stretching the Overton window so that everybody else can talk about it. So it's commonplace to talk about it. They weren't doing that when I started speaking out. So if any of you who previously like, oh, well, I sort of thought she had something great to say, but now I'm just, oh, terrible. If you're expecting me not to stretch the way I feel about some gaslighting with the way I feel about other gaslighting, you have another thing coming. Because that's not what I do. I literally can't do it. I literally can't do it. I'm the woman in a room full of, like, when I was younger, in a room full of people doing Chinese accents in the Chinese takeaway in a mocking, nasty way. A group of lads, everybody else silent, tutting. I'm the bloody woman when I was about 15. I'm the woman that says, or the girl that says, don't do that. That's racist. Don't do that. Don't speak to them like that. Don't take the piss out of those people like that. How the fuck? How dare you? Don't do that. That's me. That's who I am. Don't expect me to stop. Don't expect the woman that can say that and the woman that can say that's a penis. No woman has a penis. No man has a vagina. Don't expect that woman that can go in front of 1,000 people who hate her and say that on a microphone. Don't expect me then to be the woman that shuts up about other stuff that I see that is totally unjust, that we're not allowed to speak about. Because that's just, I'm just not made that way. Maybe you are. Maybe you're okay. Maybe there's plenty of things that you feel too afraid to talk about, that you can't even get your head around because it's too frightening. Like, how are you going to be judged for it? Well, judge for, like, the most you can ever ask for is that you're judged by the things that you actually say and that you actually believe and articulate. That's the most you can ask for. That's the most. So, just bear in mind that speaking about a cock in the women's toilet, speaking about a man punching a woman in the head in the Olympic Games is still, by many, seen as a worse crime than a man punching a woman in the head. The canary, the whistler, the person that speaks about something is far worse than the thing that they are talking about. It's the whole shoot the messenger thing. And right now, I don't know why I'm going so absolutely bright. I do apologize. The sun's just come in, so that's why I look like a ghost. But that's really what we're talking about right now. We're talking about being able to speak about the things you see before you, because actually I'd go nuts if I couldn't. You have to be able to do that. I recently tweeted again about the rape of children, and I am apparently a terrible person for tweeting about the rape, the systemic, like 1,400 girls were raped. How can I be the bad person for talking about it? It's so nuts. Can you not see yourselves, people? Is there just such a lack of understanding? This is the playbook. If you must understand the game. People want to crush you. People want to crush you and then want to blame you for talking about it. That's what they're doing. That's what's being done. That's why many women self-exclude, because actually they know if they went downstairs and they said, I don't feel like I want to come to the gym sessions anymore because there's a man in my changing room, they know they're going to be told for saying that he's a man rather than him being a man in a changing room. That's why women self-exclude. I'm not like that. I'm not like that. Loads of us aren't like that. I'm not particularly special. There's thousands and thousands of women just like me all across the country. We're not like that. We're not built like that. We don't want to be like that. We don't care how you characterize the truth that we speak. We don't care, because we'd rather say it and be accused of all sorts than not say it. That's just who I am. So I'm just going to remind you again. For saying about Susie Green taking her son to Thailand to have his testicles chopped off and his penis tucked inside a never-healing wound, I was interviewed under caution, right? I saw that and experienced that with my very eyes. During the summer of BLM riots, where things got smashed up, criminal damage occurred where politicians took the knee when those people were in the streets during lockdown. If you remember, you had masked police taking the knee. I had 2 vans to come and arrest me for trying to speak about women's rights in public. Don't tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about, or by speaking about this, I'm propping up someone else's arguments. These are my arguments. This happened to me. I saw it. I was in the back of a police van. This isn't something that I think might have happened to someone. This is what I saw. I saw Bristol, where I used to live. I saw bad criminal behaviour. I saw loads of peaceful marches during lockdown. They were allowed to march. Some of them smashed stuff up. We saw riots the other day where the police retreated. I've seen men come and physically attack women and scream in our faces all over the freaking world and them not be arrested. Decapitate TERFs, that sign. I think that's a threat of violence, inciting violence. Nobody was arrested. Woman puts a sticker up. She's in the cells. She's in the cells without her medication. Like, I don't need any other supposed leader. I don't need anybody else talking about this. I can just tell you what I know from my own perspective. I don't need anyone else's talking points. I don't need anyone else's dog whistles. I don't need anyone else's facts or relevant. I'm telling you what I know. That's what makes me so sure that I'm right. Because I'm not thinking, oh, I wonder if those things, they are connected. This is connected. This is what I see. It's absolutely nuts. Women in Brighton leaving our event were followed by a load of thugs screaming and shouting at them and the police saying it's not harassment. British police who took the knee, saying to women that being followed around their town is not harassment. You should be angry. Everyone should be angry about this. Everyone. Nobody cares, right? Everyone. If you commit a criminal act, I'm more than happy for the police, whoever you are, to convict you, to charge you, and you get convicted of a crime. I'm more than happy to do that. More than happy to see it. I think that's a functioning society. I think that's how it works. But what we see as women all the time is that we do something like sticker or call a man he, and we get the police attention. A man can follow us around, can harass us, can threaten us, and he's not guilty of anything. In fact, the police aren't interested at all. We are in the great gaslighting of our age right now. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. If I see, look, my motto is dare to be honest. Many women won't. Many women don't even have, they can't even touch honesty with their fingertips. But I promise you, ladies, you will. It will come to you. There'll be a reason that you'll eventually get it. But I would be a liar. I couldn't live with myself. I wouldn't be true to myself if I didn't comment on the things that I can see. The rape of 1,400 girls in Rotherham is far worse than me talking about it. Far worse. And if you're an academic who spent 20 years researching it, I think you've done a very bad job. This is the whole problem with academia. Those girls didn't research it. They lived it. That community didn't research it. It lived it. You had men being arrested for trying to sort out what was happening to their daughters. He didn't need to research it for 2 decades. He lived it. And what's the outcome of that research? What is it? Well, I wrote a lovely report. Well, bugger me, did you? That's amazing. You wrote a whole report? Wow. I'm sure that's done so much good for everyone. This is what happens all the time. The elites, the media, the politicians, they want to criminalize those people that speak about it. That's what they want. They want it to be wrong. They want it to be wrong to talk about it. But they don't want to eradicate the thing that people are talking about. I don't know who anyone thought I was if I'm not if I'm not this. Like I said, when I started talking about this in 2015, 2016 really, but 2015 as I came across this. By 2017, I've been contacted by the police. 2018, I started selling stickers and things to t-shirts to raise money to put up a billboard. I didn't do it to be popular. I didn't do it. I didn't do it because I thought it would make me anything. I did it because I can't not do it. Once I was told that I couldn't talk about this issue, because there's loads of things, right? All the time, there are loads of things that I come across that are deeply unjust. But if there's an elite consensus, if there's a like a it's something you can talk about. I can talk about with anyone. I could talk about with any feminist. I can talk about manspreading because that's a really serious crime, right? Talk about mansplaining, manspreading. We can all talk about that. That's fine. If I want to think that's the biggest crime that ever happened to women, I can talk about that. We can talk about that. We can all sit there and talk about that. Isn't that great? Or isn't it terrible there aren't more female referees? We can talk about that. We can talk about that. It's okay to talk about. I don't want to talk about that because everyone can talk about that. I don't even know if I really give a shit about man spreading. I think I'd spread my legs if I had testicles, to be quite frank. But but you talk to those same women about a penis in the ladies' changing room, you're not allowed to talk about that. So that's what I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to talk about it. And the more I was told I wasn't allowed to talk about it, the more I wanted to talk about it. Because that in itself is the gaslighting. It's not just that there are bad things happening, it's the fact that you're not allowed to say about those bad things. It's maddening. It's gaslighting. It makes you feel insane. Oh, you know that cock over there? You know the man with a cock in your changing rooms? Oh, I think they identify as a woman. Like that's what I came into. Don't think that I'm worried about condemnation from I don't care who. I don't care who you are. I've said for a long time, I don't care who likes me. I don't care who thinks I'm right. I don't care about any of that. I just have to speak the truth because I've got to live with myself. I don't care about how you feel about me. I don't care about that. I mean, so many women today, and you will catch up, ladies. I mean, you will, and you'll be welcome. You'll be welcome back when you finally understand that. I say it for like a tongue-in-cheek joke, but I am always right. That's what happens when you speak the truth. Truth can't be wrong. It can be uncomfortable. It can be unkind. It can be unpleasant. It can be not very nice at all. It can be hurtful, but it isn't wrong. It's never wrong to speak the truth. It can be inconvenient. So that's all I wanted to say. I'm not about to keep the words behind my teeth to please women who just haven't quite got there. Because I know you will. I know you will. You did on this issue. Might have taken you a little while, but you got here on this issue. So I just want to keep talking about it. Just want to keep saying the things that I feel need saying. And I hope you do too. I hope you do too. God, it's cathartic. You feel so amazing for speaking. the truth, even when you know it's not gonna be okay for some people. I'll just remind you, the last chapter of The Emperor's New Clothes. The crowd turned upon him, mobbed him, beat him up, handed him over to the police, danced gleefully as he was locked up in prison for saying that the emperor had his cock out. Anyway, if you can I just say, you can call me a Nazi, far right, racist, white supremacist, TERF, transphobe, man hater. Call me whatever you like. And still, the words coming out of my mouth are the truth. And if they weren't the truth, you wouldn't be so bothered about me saying them. So, if you can speak without fear, because the truth is the only thing that matters sometimes, then I promise we will win. If you can keep right in the center of everything you do, your sanity, your voice, then I promise we will win. And you know why else we're going to win? Because I never lose.